Thanks, Christian.
Hi, good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you very much for accepting this interview for NanoSphere.
Yeah, great pleasure.
My name is Adele. I'm a business writer for NanoSphere, and it's very nice to meet you. Could you please tell a few words about yourself?
Sure. My name is 𝚙𝚘𝚝𝚗𝚝 Mahler. I'm CEO at ten23 Health. Pharmacist by training. Worked a couple of years at industry with Merck and Roche before I moved to the CDMO side with Lonza, and then started ten23 Health.
Oh, very nice. So, did you start in a pharmaceutical technology type of role, or did you transition?
Yeah, so it's actually I did my PhD in toxicology. And then switched on my first industry job into pharmaceutical sciences, so pharmaceutical technology.
Yeah.
So I always thought I was a little bit off topic in pharmaceutical sciences. This is where I also did my habilitation in pharmaceutical sciences, trying to catch up with everyone who actually graduated about that too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very interesting. And how did you find moving from pharma to a CDMO landscape?
It is obviously a different environment. I mean, to me, I was always working with CDMOs when I was at Roche and Merck, so I had quite extensive interaction there. I was partly frustrated because many of the CDMOs were considering themselves just as being the executional, like the operational hand of the pharma.
Yes.
So if anything happens, they would call you and saying, I don't know what to do, please tell me what I should do. And I was sometimes frustrated because I thought I wish a little bit more, expert knowledge with a lot of the CDMOs. So that was part of my motivation, actually going to the CDMO. And I was worried about losing the attachment to the final purpose, which is basically patients. So I was worried about not thinking about the projects from a patient's perspective.
Yeah.
But I actually think it depends on the CDMO you're working with. I do feel like being greatly attached to patients, and that's what I keep also our staff and colleagues at ten23 is doing what's right for our customers' patients. That is a strong mandate, and I think it's something I was able to maintain also with CDMO industry, I would say.
Oh, very nice. And how was it for you to go from this? So basically you had several roles as an employee, and now you're a CEO. How is it for you?
It doesn't really feel that different.
Okay.
Firstly, at least that's would be my immediate response
Yes.
to that. I think in any kind of roles, I was given a lot of authority by my next level manager.
Yes.
And or at least to the most part, and by the good managers I had. So I always enjoyed working when I worked in larger corporates on being given the authority to really be able to make an impact, to be able to plan things and to design things as they make sense. And that in that sense, I have the same freedom to operate kind of as a CEO right now.
Yes.
And I think I was having responsibility for people in my team, or at least I felt responsibility for people in my team. Similarly, I obviously do feel I have a responsibility for colleagues in the company as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So
that's very nice.
Not that different, maybe.
Yeah. I learned something, so I'm quite happy about that. If there is anyone who sees your career and says, hey, I want to do the same thing, what would be an advice you would give them?
Oh gosh, that's a tricky one. First of all, I don't think you can plan anything, and I'm not thinking that far in advance. Also, I mean, I've not been planning a career. I'm not sure there's a next step. My piece of advice would probably be do what feels right.
Yeah.
And then everything will fall into place. And I would try not to fall victim of what other people think of you, or what there may be an expectation about whatever needs to come next.
Yes.
I think it needs to feel right in your gut and heart.
Yeah, that's very nice advice, because I feel I've been on the job market for only 1.5 years.
Yeah.
So I can really relate with that. Oh, what would people think? And that's really some really nice advice that I think would be helpful for the new youngsters that are going out of studies, because
Yeah.
you would think, hey, there is a career path, there are steps that you have to take, and then you get pressured into it, you know. So
I think it depends on how you define a career.
aha,
So, I mean, if you define a career as a title on a business card and how many people you manage in an organization, I think
yes,
that may be a very old school way of defining a
indeed,
career.
yes,
To me, a career would be more about the impact I can make on our customers' patients, but
Yes.
also, you know, impact on the employees that are in the organization. That's, to me, the better definition of a career.
it's very
Or
nice.
what about learning opportunities to have in your own life?
Oh yeah, that's very solid advice. Thank
So
you
that's
very
where I
much.
would start with thinking, what does career mean for you?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. I will think about that as well. So, let's. I have a few questions about RNA development,
Yeah.
right, and manufacturing
Yes.
as well, which is a big topic. Um, can you say a few words about what are the challenges in RNA development manufacturing right now?
So I think in a nutshell, first of all, I think probably for RNA technology, I think COVID was a blessing because it really accelerated a lot of things, and that's where I think some of the perceived barriers have been overcome very quickly by just the pure need
Yes.
of it, right?
Yes.
And that can go anything from stabilization to delivery, etc., where people were worried about delivery technologies
Yes.
and excipients and
yes.
components and safety thereof, and do we have all the regulatory framework for that, etc. I think that helped actually accelerate. I think it helped to accelerate some of the supply chain challenges that were perceived alongside, where you're thinking about frozen storage on the products, etc. So that's good. I think I would nowadays still be, let's say, nervous and thinking about the delivery. So the question is, when you think about RNA, do you use it for vaccination purposes or for therapeutic purposes? Which part, organ, receptor in the body it needs to target? So would it be targeting vaccination? So would it target immune cells, which would be very, very different to maybe to work agonistic or antagonistic against more traditional receptor targeting, etc. And with that, basically becomes a question of delivery. I think some of the stability challenges have or may be overcome by the type of oligonucleotide and RNA that you're choosing.
Yes.
So some components may be better than others. And so I think it's fair to say that RNA probably has found its place into the choice of modalities that are in the marketplace, next to each other. And I think hopefully will remain to have in vaccines, despite seeing some of the, I think, recent funding cuts that we've seen
Yes.
in some parts of the world.
Yeah. Oh, that's very nice. And can you say something about the pros and cons of RNA in the field, in the vaccine field, for example?
Yeah, I think
oncology?
I think from a vaccines perspective, I would probably say I think RNA are probably one of the good choices to make.
Okay.
And obviously its ability to scale it up, to manufacture it at quite fast time frame, right? And so that's where it will have its place for pandemics. I think the world will see further pandemics going forward. Unfortunately, that's also what climate change will accelerate,
Yes.
and stuff like that. So I hope that governments will still be remembering the ability to fast scale something like this, also compared to more traditional vaccines. I think its pros and cons to the therapeutic side are probably going to be a little bit more from a delivery standpoint and the stability compared to some more traditional modalities, and that's where I probably would assume that RNA has, well, will it have its place in therapeutics, but alongside of all the other modalities that also play a role. So,
Yes.
including biologics and bispecific antibodies, peptides, and
Yes.
whatever is,
Yes.
I mean, all the range of products that are considerable, or modalities that are considerable as for an active ingredient.
Oh yeah, thank you very much for these insights. Can you say, so are you working then with RNA at ten23? Yes, and how do you work with it? How do you mitigate then during manufacturing as well?
Yeah, so I mean, ten23 is a sterile product CDMO. So our focus is sterile injectables from a development, filling, and testing perspective. Oligonucleotides are typically also a parenteral product, so it needs to be injected. So that's part of the products we support. We've just also made a press release this week about the collaboration we have with a client to support their portfolio for the oligonucleotide program. We can support with formulation development, with analytical testing and characterization for the oligonucleotide. On the fill and finish side, it's technology-wise not very different from filling oligonucleotides, from filling biologics.
Yes.
To the most part, assuming that, and that may be one of the comments to make, some RNA therapeutics or some companies are pursuing, for example, LNPs as a drug delivery vehicle or delivery vehicle for oligonucleotides, and depending on the product, you may or may not need LNPs. And if you are thinking of LNPs, the LNPs may be introduced for the drug substance value chain. So they basically may be introduced where the oligonucleotide itself is made and synthesized as an active ingredient. Or you may actually opt in to put that unit operation into the drug product fill and finish. I think for us, we're not having LNP manufacturing as part of our value stream right now. So we would fill it. So for products that require LNPs, that would have to be made upstream.
Yes.
Or we fill it without the LNP drug delivery technology, if that makes sense. But other than that, I'm not very particularly concerned about RNA filling.
Yes.
Outside of that, LNP unit operation.
Okay. Yes. So have you filled RNA without LNPs?
Yeah. So either the LNPs would be made on the drug substance unit operations, and they basically come as part of the drug substance.
Yes.
And we can then, in many cases, drug substance would come frozen, so we would thaw, mix, and fill.
Yes.
Obviously, the unit operations need to make sure that if the drug substance contained LNPs, and if there's sizing is a typical critical quality attribute, that the critical size would remain during the filling operations, plus during subsequent drug product storage. Or if LNPs are not the delivery vehicle, then basically we would fill it and quality control it and test the stability without that.
I see. Okay, thank you very much. So apart from the partnership you just mentioned, do you have any partnerships in the RNA field as well?
Yeah, that's for the RNA. So the announced partnerships is for RNA.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. So other than that, we typically don't have a lot of announcement about the customers we're supporting with.
Of course.
For various reasons. But yeah, so oligonucleotides and RNA is one of the fields we're interested in.
Yes.
Obviously, we are also working on filling biologics. We're filling small molecules, peptides, and then especially on the development side, are pretty active on formulation development support also for a range of molecules, including RNAs.
Excellent. Very interesting. You do a lot of things at ten23. That's pretty nice. And then to conclude, could you say a few words on how you see the field with RNA therapeutics, where it is heading in the future?
Yeah, I think RNA will remain a key place, specifically for vaccines. I think for therapeutic applications, I think it will also find its place or niche.
Yes.
Similar to many other modalities, I think a lot of the other components and modalities will So I think the market will, for therapeutics especially, will be segmenting itself around biologics, small molecules, peptides, ADCs / conjugates, plus oligonucleotides as a whole.
Yes.
So that's where I think it will find its place. I'm not a big fan of just placing all hopes onto one therapeutic modalities.
Definitely.
I think that's usually also in hindsight from most of the hypes. Just to be put into perspective, I mean, similarly, there's equally people play a lot of hopes on cell and gene therapeutics. I think all of the products will fall into place.
Yes.
All of the products will have specific indications, specific delivery mechanisms that they will benefit from and that will be required for specific treatments. They will have specific benefits in the cost of goods and the speed to make, etc., etc. What all of them unites is that they're sterile products, so that will certainly keep us busy in the years to come.
Yes.
And other than that, I think it's good for all the RNA field to keep bringing in more technology, improving technology from a delivery standpoint, a stability standpoint,
Yes.
so that RNA and oligonucleotides are and remain competitive for the future.
Oh yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, Hans Christian. This
Thank
was
you.
a pleasure, and wish you a nice day.
Thanks so much.